Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Lynn Leslie, Supervisor of New Curriculum Implementation, and I'm here with the New Curriculum Implementation team to provide some highlights from our New Curriculum Implementation Support Set meeting. So this time we looked at curriculum through the lens of inclusion and differentiation. And when we thought about inclusion, we really wanted to look at curriculum from three perspectives. One is, what is our values? What do we believe is important in teaching and learning? What do we know? So what do we know to be best practice? And then what are we doing? What are we doing within our curriculum implementation to support students at who have a variety of needs? So it's constantly kind of looking at that being, knowing, and doing. As we look at our district mission and vision, we know that it says learning and living and learning in our Catholic faith so that students centered in Christ realize their full potential. And really at the core of any curriculum, teaching and learning, is looking at differentiation and inclusion so that all students can reach their next step of learning and ultimately grow into their fullest potential. So how we do that, we look at board priorities, and of course we're one part of that bigger picture. We all are, and we all play a role in these 4 priority areas. And when we look to the board priorities, they really provide a beautiful framework in which we can look at the holistic approach to curriculum. Things like embedding our faith and permeating it, ensuring that student success and that, again, that next step of learning for students is intentionally designed for and planned for. Looking at wellness, our own wellness, and making sure that we're taking things slow, that we've got the confidence that we've got good things happen in our class, and we're continuing to grow and learn alongside each other. And then also through the Indigenous lens, and how do we continue honoring multiple ways of knowing, and again, that student story piece. So one of the things that we presented in collaboration with our Indigenous education team who were at our set meeting was this idea of 2-eye seeing. And this term was coined by the Mi'kmaq elder Albert Marshall, and he's actually from the Nova Scotia area in Canada. And what he's sort of proposing as far as his understanding and his making sense of the world in which he's walking in is really trying to pull the best. So pulling the best from the westernized sort of view of curriculum, as well as all of the beautiful priorities that we get to, walk alongside many of our district experts in navigating what is best practice. And so how can we honor each other, honor student story, as well as look at curriculum as a way of it's knowledge, and knowledge is important, but it's not in separation or in difference of really that more holistic approach to what we're doing within our classrooms to serve the needs of all of our students. So when we looked at, if you could just advance it one more time, Kim. So when we looked at the different priorities in our virtual set, we talked about culturally responsive framework, where it's really about being aware of what our biases are and what we believe is important for teaching and learning. And then it's moving into, again, creating those intellectual partnerships. And that was the work that was most recently done, where we are looking to do things in relation with others. And really it's about being culturally and contextually sensitive. And knowing that, again, as we navigate the different lenses, to really look at the best of both in order to serve the needs of our students. And student story was something that came, when it came to diverse learning, came really out as first and foremost in the work that we do. And so different universal strategies to be able to support that work could be things like making the work visible, targeting the academic vocabulary, and really looking at supporting that language acquisition. And remembering that nobody can learn until they feel safe to do so. So looking at the wellness framework, and you'll often hear things like Maslow, like hierarchy of needs before blooms, before that academic learning is happening. So that sense of student safety. And then, of course, looking at the land and looking at the different ways in which we can make learning not just holistic, but also experiential and make it have meaning for the kids and for ourselves as we're navigating and understanding more of that content. And we also presented a cool tech tool, and it's not just cool, it really is intended to be inclusive, where things like when we're creating groups in our class, are we really making sure that people don't, our students don't have anxiety around, you know, are they going to be picked to be part of a group? But can we set up some different groupings so students get to know one another, they get to know each other's names? And this is a free program, flippity.net, super easy to use, and a way of creating random groupings and increasing engagement within your classes. And now I'll turn it over to the curriculum teams who are going to give a brief summary of each of their areas.
Thank you, Dr. Lynn. So I am very excited. I'm Kimberly Goosen. I'm the new curriculum consultant for ELAL, and I have a couple of updates. So all of the schools have already received their Scholastic Decodable book sets, the physical copies in September. And I'm very excited to announce that we now have digital access. All school codes are on our NCIS Google site. Please reach out if you cannot find them. As well, we have created a little reading A to Z tips, tricks, and cautions. So all our K-3 teachers have this platform, and we wanted to give you kind of some tips and tricks and things to look for while you're on that platform. As well, we have a little Wordy Wednesday. So every other Wednesday, I post a word game that you can do in the classroom right away. It's really meant to be a, here you go, you find something in the morning and you can do it right away that day. As well, we've been working on revising our writing toolkit. So we redid the general rubric with a PLC group, as well as we're creating these 1-point rubrics where you can really target what you are doing in the classroom and the cusp you're focusing on, and then be able to tell your students some areas of growth and areas of strength. Last but certainly not least, we are so excited to announce that we have purchased the A Sentence a Day Empowering Writers resource, one for every school. It is just a little bit behind because of weather, but it should be out to your schools very, very shortly, which leads into our PG. On March 29th, we will be hosting a full day guest teacher provided PG to really help get this resource into your classroom and see the many benefits of this resource. During our set meeting, we looked at the idea of a story stroll, so that land-based learning that can occur. And we looked at planning with a mentor text and really being intentional when we pick our picture book. And so looking at that curriculum, looking at different concepts in the curriculum, and being able to use different parts of the outcomes throughout the week. Now, I highlighted some amazing resources that you can use in choosing those mentor texts. So the JEDI team has a wonderful list of diverse books that you can go to start with, as well as the University of Calgary has an Indigenous concept-based search tool where you can put in a concept like kingship and be able to find books that you can use in your classroom. Wonderful two resources to use. As well, I've created a little choice board that has the idea of kingship and oral tradition, which is found in our new curriculum, and some books that you can use, as well as teacher background. And then again, that planning with the mentor text, we've created some templates for grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. When we went through our story stroll, we also looked the idea of comprehension. And so using that cue chart, which you will see in the left-hand corner, and being able to build some high, medium, and low questions. It was a wonderful day, and I'm now going to pass it on to our math consultant.
Hi, everyone. I'm Bev Dutton, and I'm the new curriculum math consultant. During our set meetings, we took a deeper dive into the Math Little Books. All schools will have a lifetime access to the Math Little Books digital license, and they're getting their set of print copies of all 72 titles. Print kits are coming soon. Thank you for your patience and with the distribution. And each print kit contains 1 teacher guide and 5 student books for each title, grades 1 to 3, and there'll be 4 student books for kindergarten. Out of the titles, 16 were written by Indigenous authors, with quite a few from Alberta. There was a write-up on the inside front cover from the author that talks about the story, the Indigenous perspective, and what nation they may be from. Teachers can take these books and push the little books to their Google Classroom or send the URL or QR code, which is on the back of the print copy little book, to parents in an email for students to access at home. The table of contents provides in the teacher guide everything you need from activities to line masters that are PDF or Word to make it editable. But the golden egg is the wordless book. To access the wordless student book, teachers will need to click on Student Book in the table of contents and select Wordless Books. This provides many entry points for the diversity of your students. There's also videos, and a printable progression chart can be found on the NCIS Google site under Resources, which is linked on the slide. Here's some upcoming PG. Our mathology.ca session for the 21st is full. Please add your name to the waitlist if interested. And again, we have Jump Math for our Jump Math schools, March 20th and 27th, and they're both full. But again, please add your name to the waitlist if you are interested. We can go to the next slide. Subject-specific vocabulary was talked about in our set session. Our math community of practice teachers have put together the list of vocabulary that is in the curriculum under the appropriate grade. Just a note that some words are teacher-specific, knowledge only, and have a double asterisk next to it, and I've highlighted it in yellow. This is not to say that you cannot tell the students what the word is, just that it does not get assessed. The academic vocabulary is located as a tab on the bottom of the document, and this is for all grades. Next slide. Here we have the Zorbits. We talked about the teacher dashboard and the admin assessment dashboards. Just a quick reminder that teachers can take a quick peek to see where their students are and who may be struggling. And it can also help you guide you with your concepts and where they may need more attention, or where students have been very successful and can move on to more challenging activities. As well, a reminder to our teachers to use the offline resources from the Zorbits Resource Center tab, as there are so many to choose from across the outcomes and the grades. So you can actually choose a grade above or below if you need it. For our school leaders, please be reminded that you have access to the admin dashboard. This might be a good time to take a look, as you may find valuable data that will help with school plans and writing your short reports. You'll be able to see teacher activation and student gameplay time that has been happening in your school. All K-3 English and French program teachers have access to Zorbits. Please remember, not all teachers will have this set up, so if they would like some support, please contact me, and I'm happy to walk alongside them to get them started. And now I'm going to turn it over to our next consultant.
Thanks, Bev. Quick update with physical education and wellness. For both healthy eating and financial literacy, there have been created alignment documents as well as kind of guides to help teachers navigate what that looks like in their classroom. It also gives you links, lessons, videos, picture books, literacy connections, and opportunities that you might find kind of throughout Calgary, as well located there. On the left-hand side of the slide, you will see that we have the links towards the NCIS, Google, EPD for phys ed, and EPD for Indigenous education. That is because we do have Indigenous games on there, as well as all the resources are always going to be found at either the NCIS site or the physical education and wellness site. So those are really two good spots to always start when looking for new updates. And we have a couple updates as far as kind of PGs, as well as 2 new resources. So Power School Professional Learning, the PG opportunity right now, the only one that we have actually with empty seats is TGFU, Why and How. There will be more coming related to some of the wellness aspects, as well as Play Builder, which we'll speak to next. A MOSI has been sent out to the schools with a letter. The remaining, and you should be able to receive that actually this week. The remaining resources are going to be sent out with mid-late March. And then last but not least, Physical Literacy for Communities, or Play Builder. This is a app that allows, it's a teacher planner that has year, unit, and lesson plans. It's physical literacy focused. There will be PG opportunities in late April, early May, as far as kind of how to use that. Now I'll pass it on to Sarah.
Hi there. So as for Fully Alive and how it fits in, of course, NCIS has such a treasure trove of information for you. So what you see here in this picture is the NCIS chart that has aligned every outcome. On the left would be all of the general outcomes in the phys ed wellness program. In the middle are the skills and procedures, so a kind of a precise list of what's under each general outcome. And then there's two columns on the right-hand side. So one column is the Fully Alive lesson that aligns to that specific cusp. And so, for example, you're going to see some that are white. So I'm looking at the top one, identify protective factors that can support perseverance. So for example, theme 2, topic 1, theme 3, topic 6, and theme 5, topic 2 all address that. And because it's in white, it means that when you cover those topics, you've essentially covered that particular cusp. And so should you decide to pair that Fully Alive lesson with an Emoji Unit 1, Lesson 1, there's a list of some activities that you could pair with that Fully Alive lesson. And what it would do is it would allow you to enrich that discussion. And so as Fully Alive is a mandated resource from June to May, there might be opportunities here to read the Fully Alive story and then enrich it using that far right column. If it's in yellow, so at the bottom there, you're going to see describe situations about responsible leadership and safety and well-being. It's in yellow because it's introduced. So in theme 2, topic 6, and theme 3, topic 6, it's introduced. So if you cover the story and the Fully Alive activity that matches it, you would only be introducing that outcome, and you would want to support it or enrich it with the far right column, either during the same class or at another time, in order to consider that cusp completed and covered. So that's what that chart on NCIS is really trying to help you identify, is how to match from January to June in specific what Fully Alive lesson might be enriched in order to cover completely that topic. So I'll get you to flick to the next slide there, and I'll say there's one other document that you should print off. So that one is on NCIS under tools and templates for every grade. That's a good one to print off. This is another one. So for Div 1 versus Div 2, so you'll see on the left-hand side, Div 1 has one less document. So Div 1, there would be 2 documents to print off. The one I just mentioned, so NCIS, that alignment in the chart form, and this document. So you're going to see top left, it says from grades 1 to 6, there's a Fully Alive alignment to Pew and ELAL document. And this is also, there's a link on NCIS, or you can go onto the Religious Education EPD site to find it. And it's a very long document, but it's meant to be comprehensive to help you. In the first box, you're going to see there a long range plan. So it gives you from September to June how you might balance out all of the Pew outcomes. So for example, the top 2 there, you're going to be dealing with movement skill development and active living. Those are going to be covered in phys ed all year. Then the next ones like healthy eating, financial literacy, those can be covered using paths and Pew wellness resources. From September to December, and I know that Barb in our joint meetings has always said really front load your September with a lot of these Emoji lessons or paths lessons to address all of the outcomes that Fully Alive doesn't cover. And the rest of the document, you're going to see that bottom chart. Fully Alive, what it does is it gives you topic for every theme and every topic. It aligns for you exactly what knowledge, skills, and procedures are aligned to that lesson. And what it does, you can see the highlighted yellow, is it'll give you an optional ELAL connection. Let's say you want to allot maybe 1 or 2 classes of ELAL per month to cover a Fully Alive story. And so they've been highlighted there for you. This would be a good one that you could maybe set aside 1 ELAL lesson for that month, and this would be a good one because it aligns so well using the story and activity. Obviously, you could save as well. One suggestion is perhaps to do all of your Fully Alive. You're going to have a few trickling over that you don't have wellness classes for. So maybe consider the last couple weeks of ELAL in June. That would be a great time to kind of tidy up whatever Fully Alive lessons you have left over, seeing as they are very literacy dependent. It's a story and an activity that matches very well with ELAL outcomes, blah, blah, blah. The far right, you're going to see there is Div 2. So just wrapping up here, Div 2, grades 4 to 6 teachers should print off a third document. And this is specifically for theme 3. These are lessons that are a mash. It's a smash of the old CSSD family life lessons that were created, mashed together with theme 3 lessons from Fully Alive. So essentially this document you print off per grade. There's a grade 4, a grade 5, and a grade 6 set of lesson plans. And you would print them off. They're essentially minute by minute what you would cover, discussion questions, an activity to close, and it's all done there for you. So really, really important document for Div 2. And I do believe that's the end of mine, so I'll pass it on.
Thank you so much, Kim, Bev, Matt, Barb, and Sarah. Just incredible work happening to support all of the curriculum areas that we've been mandated to move forward with this year. So really appreciate all of your work, and by extension, the communities of practice who help to guide and support us as well. So where to find info? You'll see our new curriculum implementation support site has been updated. So you'll see the menu on the left and some added buttons in there, but please do check back to the what's new. That will tell you whether or not there's anything that's been added recently, so you can kind of hone in specifically on that. And then also, just if you're looking at resource updates, there's a shortened bit.ly. It's also linked into our Google site. And finally, any PG opportunities that we're even thinking about offering are in this bit.ly. And then if they're being offered, they're in red, and they're also on the Power School Professional Learning. And just know that, again, as I've said all year long, our resources and our implementation, there's a lot, and we understand there's a lot coming on. There's really great things happening in your programs right now. Continue to be confident in the work that you're doing is what is needed for your class right now, but know that we are here to support you and move forward in those high impact resources and strategies that we've been presenting to your SET members, but by extension to you. So if you need any support, please do reach out to either the consultants that presented today or directly to us on the new curriculum at cssd.ab.ca site. Thanks everyone, and have a wonderful rest of the day.